It started with the letter. Cream paper, black ink, my mother's handwriting. Elegant, precise, like every word mattered. I hadn't seen her handwriting in years, not since she'd stopped calling, not since I stopped answering. When the lawyer handed it to me after the funeral, the world outside was white with November frost. His voice was gentle, measured, as if breaking news to a wounded animal. Your mother left a condition, Anna. Before you can receive your part of the inheritance, you must stay 1 week at the family estate. Thanksgiving week. I almost laughed, because that was the one thing she knew I'd never want. The family house. The place that stole every good part of me. The place my father filled with silence after she left him. The place where my half-sister, Emily, learned how to lie with a smile. I stared at the signature at the bottom of the letter, Margaret Whitmore. Still beautiful, still controlling me from beyond the grave. I'll think about it, I said. The lawyer looked at me carefully. She was very specific. The others have already agreed. The others? He hesitated. Your father, Emily, and his new wife, Vivian. I felt something tighten in my chest. Of course, my mother's last wish wasn't about inheritance. It was about punishment. 2 weeks later, I drove through the fog that hung over the Hudson Valley, the trees bare and skeletal. The Whitmore estate rose from the mist like something out of a memory I'd tried to bury. All white columns, black shutters, and ghosts. The door opened before I knocked. Emily stood there, smiling. Anna, she said, you came. She looked exactly like I remembered. Perfect hair, perfect posture, perfect liar. She hugged me like a stranger who wanted to convince the world we were close. I didn't come for you, I said softly. She only smiled wider. Of course not. You came for Mother's money. I walked past her without answering. The living room was just as I'd left it 15 years ago. The smell of cedar and wine, the massive fireplace my father used to ignore us beside. And there he was, Edward Whitmore, my father. Still handsome in that cold, calculated way. The kind of man who could charm a room and kill you with a sentence. Anna, he said, standing, you look like her. She's gone, I replied. You can stop pretending you ever cared. His new wife, Vivian, glided in then, soft voice, pearls, the kind of woman who made herself small beside power. Dinner will be at 7, she said, as if this were all perfectly normal. And maybe it was, for them. For people who'd learned to live with lies. That night, I found my room untouched. My childhood bed, the wallpaper with fading flowers, and on the dresser, a single envelope. Inside, a note in my mother's handwriting. They will tell you I was weak, that I left. The truth is buried in this house. Find it. End it. Love, Mom. My hands shook. I looked around the room, the shadows, the silence. For the first time in years, I felt her near me. Not as a ghost, as a warning. The week began with forced civility. Thanksgiving was 3 days away, and the tension in the house was thick enough to choke on. Vivian played the perfect hostess, Emily the perfect daughter, and my father, well, he just drank more than usual. At breakfast, he asked, "Still working for that small firm in Boston?" "Yes," I said. "Still pretending you were a good father?" Emily laughed nervously. "Come on, Anna. It's been years. Can't we just move on?" I looked at her. Move on from what, exactly? The truth? Her eyes flickered, just for a second, and I saw it. Guilt. That night, I walked through the house when everyone was asleep. The air felt heavy, the old wood groaning under my steps. In the hallway outside my mother's old room, a section of the floor creaked differently. I knelt down. The wood panel was loose. Beneath it, a small wooden box. Inside were photographs, dozens of them. My mother, my father, and another woman, Vivian. Taken 20 years ago. My heart stopped. Vivian wasn't new. She'd been there all along. There were letters, too. ones my mother had written but never sent. "Edward, I know about her. I know what you did. If something happens to me, I hope Anna finds this." I felt the world tilt. The funeral, the will, the 1 week together. My mother hadn't left a condition. She'd left a trap. The next morning, I sat across from my father at breakfast. He looked up from his paper, indifferent. "Did you sleep well?" "No," I said, "but I found something that kept me awake." His eyes flicked up. "Careful, Anna." "I'm not 12 anymore," I said. "You can't threaten me into silence." Emily looked between us, her fork frozen mid-air. "What's going on?" I turned to her. "Ask Vivian." Vivian's smile faltered. My father slammed his hand on the table. "Enough!" The sound echoed through the room, but I was calm, because I finally understood what my mother meant. The truth wasn't about infidelity. It was about guilt, shared, buried, and waiting to rot. That night, Emily came to my room. Her voice was small. "You found it, didn't you?" I nodded. "How long have you known?" She hesitated. "Since I was 15. Mom confronted Dad. The next day she fell down the stairs." I stared at her. "You're saying he killed her?" Tears welled up. "I don't know. He said it was an accident, but I saw him with Vivian that night." My chest tightened. "So it was true." "He made you lie," I whispered. She nodded. "He said if I told anyone he'd cut me off. He'd send me away. I was a coward." I stood. "Then let's stop being cowards." Thanksgiving morning. The house was bright, full of forced cheer. The table set, the fire burning. Vivian arranged the silverware, smiling like nothing had ever happened. I walked in, holding the box of photos, set it down in the center of the table. My father looked up sharply. "What is this?" "Her will," I said. "The real one." Vivian's face went white. Emily stood beside me, trembling but strong. I opened the lid, spreading the photos, the letters, everything. The truth, laid bare. "This is what you buried," I said softly. "And this is what she wanted me to find." For the first time in my life, my father looked afraid. He stood, trying to control his voice. "You think this changes anything?" "It already has," I said, "because now Emily knows the truth, and so will everyone else." "You wouldn't dare," he said. "I already did," I whispered. "The letters were sent to your lawyer this morning." Vivian's glass slipped from her hand, shattering on the table. The sound was perfect, like the end of something that had gone on too long. The rest unraveled quickly. The lawyer confirmed the documents, the affair, the rewritten will. Within a week, the Whitmore estate was frozen under investigation. My father's reputation, destroyed. Vivian's charity, exposed as a shell for money laundering. Emily left the country. She sent me a postcard a month later. "I'm free, finally." As for me, I stayed. Not for the house, not for the inheritance, but for the silence that followed. It wasn't peace, it was justice. Quiet, patient, final. The first snow fell in December. I stood by the window, the same one my mother used to watch from, and whispered, "You got what you wanted, Mom. We all did." And for the first time since she died, I felt the house breathe again. Not haunted, not heavy, just still. Because revenge doesn't always scream. Sometimes, it simply waits until someone comes home to finish the story.